revealed schools that no one wants. Now, Kileleshwa Primary School in Nairobi has a capacity of 2,000 children, but only has 200 pupils currently. So millions of shillings are going down the drain as parents and learners shun some public and primary secondary schools, that is on the Daily Nation, as well as universities, in sharp contrast to the over-enrollment and congestion associated with most public institutions of learning. The situation is so bad that some of these schools are now facing imminent closure. So that is a story that is on the Daily Nation on page 6. Irony of schools that have space but very few learners. Nominated Senator Gloria Oroba has been leading an initiative to transport learners to from neighboring estates like Kawangware, where schools are heavily congested. Now, a spot check by the Nation revealed that public school facilities, equipment and staff that are not being put to optimal use owing to low enrollment. The situation was observed in both urban and rural schools. Now, addressing member of the Senate Committee on Education 2 weeks ago, the Basic Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang said that schools were established and it was expected that they would draw learners from the neighborhood, but socioeconomic dynamics have changed. You're finding situations where somebody in Nairobi is taking their child to Bungoma. Also, Vroom, all roads lead to Naivasha this week as Safari Rally revs up to a noisy, dusty start. All roads lead to Naivasha this week as Safari Rally revs up to a noisy, dusty start. Also, top of the page, teachers cry foul over recent promotions. The Kenya National Union of Teachers says 15,858 teachers were left out of the recent promotions by TSC. And the NAT Deputy Secretary General Hesbon Otieno said the union will this week petition TSC over the matter. Now, Otieno said the statistics were compiled from a countrywide survey done in 110 branches with teachers who are left out to volunteer information. So that is the headline on the Daily Nation this morning that talks of revealed schools that no one wants. Now let's cross over to the Star newspaper. Audit bears 6 state of county hospitals. Audit bears 6 state of county hospitals. At least 14 facilities have unaccounted revenue amounting to 327 million shillings. The highest is Igegania Hospital. At least 14 facilities have unaccounted revenue amounting to 327 million shillings. So revealed the financial rot in top county hospitals. The Auditor General says there are only 2 counties whose referral hospitals have clean accounting books, and that is the Homa Bay and Kisii teaching and referral hospitals. The rest looks at a situation where the book stinks. The accounting book stinks to the heavens. Hospitals are spending beyond their budgets, have failed to recognize their internally generated revenues, and have significant errors in their books. Now, hospitals with unsupported expenditure, Kiambu Level 5 Hospital, 912 million shillings spent that cannot be accounted for. Gatundu Level 4 Hospital, 34 million shillings spent that cannot be accounted for. Nyeri Provincial General Level 5 Hospital, 211 million. Kihara Level 4 Hospital, 207 million. Nu Sub-County Hospital, 4 million. Othaya Sub-County Hospital, 2 million shillings. Karuri Level 4 Hospital, 481,000. You're looking at Ruiru Level 4 Hospital, 35 million shillings unaccounted for. So there has been an audit reveal of just hospitals whose account books are not as clean and they stink to heavens. And so it's a question of where's the money going and how is it being accounted for. Also, top of the page, First Lady Rachel Ruto was at the Kenyatta University for the memorial of the 11 students that perished, and President William Ruto has donated 2 million shillings to help in the send-off. So that is the headline on the Star. Audit bears 6 state of county hospitals. Daily Nation speaks of revealed schools that no one wants, as well as the Standard. If government owes you, then it's time to strike. So those are the stories making headlines on the newspapers. Allow us to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be getting into the conversation this morning, and that has got to do with the battle for ODM party, one of the, oldest party in the Republic of Kenya. Was formed in 2005 and gets a huge chunk of money, millions of shillings every fiscal year. So who will be the best man yet to lead that particular party if ODM leader Raila Odinga succeeds in his bid for the African Union Commission? So that conversation coming up in just a bit. Stay with Morning Live. We'll be right back.
You've seen them on TV.
Jaribu kuangalia pande nyingine. So I know the values of Raila Amolo Odinga. And then also I want to say something. Kuna watu hapa wengine, namsikia mtu mmoja juzi asema, Hassan Joho amkuja juzi. I am the founder member of ODM. Go and count. Ukianza kuhesabu wale wa 10 ya kwanza, mimi niko. Na hakuna mtu katika hii taifa amepitia mitihani ya kisiasa, hasusan kwa sababu ya kusimama imara na ODM, hasusan kwa sababu ya kusimama imara na Raila Odinga kunishinda. I challenge anybody, mtu aje hapo aseme nani alokusori risasi, nani alofungua biashara, nani alofinywa hapa mambo ya elimu na mambo mengine, nani? And then you can tell me, where has Hassan Joho been? For every political party to make a meaningful contribution in any democratic space, you first of all must be able to understand your own self. Ujielewe. And me, I want to tell you, I'm in ODM. My party is ODM.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. What you've just heard there is from the former county governor of Mombasa, that is Ali Hassan Joho, who is one of the men that has thrown their hats into the ring for the leadership of ODM party. So that is largely what we'll be having a conversation on, taking a look at one of the oldest parties in Kenya. Was formed in 2005. Has got, a huge number of members, to which I'll be reading to you in just a bit, across the country and in various political seats, as well as the party that, also receives about 308.15 million shillings in the financial year that ended in 2023. Now, let me introduce my guest in studio quickly this morning. On my immediate right, I'm joined by George Gaira, who's a political commentator. Thank you for your company this morning.
Thank you for
and then next to him is John Mukoya of Movement for Defense of Democracy, MDD. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mukoya, it's been a while. What's happening with MDD so far?
What is happening with MDD is that we halted our activities when we had the dialogue. Currently, what MDD is doing, because MDD is an affiliate, or is a movement that was supporting Baba Raila Amolo Odinga and was aligned with what ODM was doing. So we are also still helping the party to do membership recruitment. And that is what has been happening for the last couple of months. We have been around the country doing membership recruitment for ODM, and also membership recruitment for Movement for Defense of Democracy. Yes.
All right, so gentlemen, I'd love us to get started. ODM party was founded in 2005, so basically it's been existent for about 19 years. It's one of the oldest parties across the Republic of Kenya. Has seen the tide of times. We've seen a lot of political parties that have come up and eventually crumbled, but somehow ODM has been able to stand the time, and here we are. Has about 86 members of parliament, has 12 senators, has about 5 members of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, has got 16 governors across the 47 counties, and has a total of 578 MCAs. So it's a huge party. And now we're looking at a situation where the ODM leader Raila Odinga is gunning for the AUC position. So basically, if he lives for that position and succeeds, then there's going to be a new party leader in place. And 2 of the key persons that have thrown their hats into the ring are former governors, Wycliffe Oparanya, as well as Ali Hassan Joho, and perhaps many other names that may come up eventually. So, Ngaira, from where you sit, is this one of the most democratical party across the Republic of Kenya?
At least in as far as Kenya is concerned and the political system is concerned, ODM then becomes the only party that has been to almost 3-4 presidential elections. There is no any other party that has been in such number of elections and actually lived to tell, including parties that actually formed government. You understand that President Kibaki's PNU collapsed as soon as he left office. President Uhuru Kenyatta as well, Jubilee Party collapsed at that. And of course, Nyayo, when KANU finally left power, there was no KANU anymore, even though it still exists as a party, but not the KANU that was there in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. So it's now ODM as a party, at least in the post-multi-party era, after the 1992 elections, still now remains the only party that has been able to going over and above different elections.
Yes.
So it is a confirmation that is a party that has remained consistent to its vision, but also within the system, because there has been structure. It's the only party actually that can show you all its 47 offices and its membership, including the sub-county membership, all the way to the ward level. You know, no other party, not even the president's party. You know, UDA has never had a single party election in their life, so they don't have any. They only have what you call interim officials, and that's what the president has been planning to work on. So, in as far as internal party democracies and structures, and be able to have formal members that can be pointed to. You can go and point the ODM chairman of Mandera East sub-county. So in as far as democracy within the party is concerned, and ODM has proved that over the years.
Right.
Yes.
Mukoya, it's not all glory. It's not all of a glory story for ODM parties, because it has also had its struggles. We've seen of cases where in elections where, you know, candidates that were looking to get that party nomination ticket failed, and they come out and say, you know, there's a particular candidate who was being backed by a higher office. It's not all glory for ODM, is it?
It is not glory for ODM, but definitely there is no party, even in America, the Democrat and the they also have same issues. But our issues in ODM, we have heard that we have some people who have had maybe their godfathers ahead, and then you find that maybe a particular candidate. In ODM, elections can be done through consensus. That is our constitution. Election can still be done through direct nomination. So sometimes you find that when a party finds out that a particular candidate will definitely come out to win, but you know you can be popular, but you cannot go and win. Yes. So sometimes such things will happen always. But we have had our problems maybe during nominations for party candidates, which I'm not going to refute, that such has happened. But it is it's work in progress, that this has to change as we move forward. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, two of the key leaders who are now the deputy party leaders, that is Hassan Joho and Wycliffe Oparanya, have thrown their hats into the ring for this position. And what we are looking at is, you know, a previous newspaper of the Star said there's now a split of two factions, leaders that, you know, do support Joho and leaders that do support Oparanya. And from what we've heard Joho says is, people are questioning on whether or not he's a national face. For this particular position of the party leader, does it require someone with a national face? And what is this national face? What does it look like?
I think ODM, like any other party, has its own constitution and processes that, you know, result into the party leadership. And it's a legal process which is actually supervised by the Register of Political Parties. There's a process through which you come up with leaders, and not just the party leader, even the local party representative at the polling station. Actually, you come through, there's a process that leads you to having that position, so that then you are structured and confirmed as an official party member, what you call the party list that is forwarded to the Register of Political Parties. So Governor Hassan Joho, as well as Governor Oparanya, and many others, you know, Cynthia, we're still 3 years away from the election. And the party is now currently working on its grassroots election. So once that is done, I guess is when it moves to the national delegate conference. There's also a path towards that particular direction. And when that time comes, it might even not be just Joe and Mheshimiwa Oparanya, who is my former governor, but also there could be others as well. When that time comes, I think the parties will be able to go through that. So it's not a pre-required qualification to become the face of the party. For you to be face of the party so that you can run to be a party leader. Everybody that is within the ODM, provided he meets the threshold of what fits the membership, the pre-requirements of being a party official, then you, and at an appropriate time, you're free to run. And then the members and the delegates of the party are the ones who then decide who then becomes either the party leader or the secretary general of party, and all the party positions that are due for being filled up, because the party has made its decision that they're going to do grassroots elections and then look forward to them doing the national elections. So Ali Hassan Joho has been has had a steady growth in terms of as a politician from the day when he was a member of parliament. Obviously, had a big chance to catapult his popularity when he had a face-off with the president in the previous regime. He became national, fairly recognizable across the country. I think there's no part of this country that is not recognizable. Also, Governor Oparanya as well, a long time standing politician. He's done 20 years now in active politics, from a member of parliament to an assistant minister to a minister of state, 2 times elected governor. When you look at his stature and experience, then it also gives, having been a cabinet minister, you know, technically makes you a state officer. So there is no doubt that he's a national office. But I think both of them stand a chance for various reasons, and they bring different strengths to the party, because Joe, young and agile, is very flexible in terms of campaign, very good in resource mobilization as well. And Governor Oparanya, an experienced old hand that has been in the game, can be able to show leadership. He's proven it in Kakamega County with what he did in his last 10 years. And obviously a former state Minister of State brings in a face that is also recognizable, at least nationally. And he has, on multiple times, even when he was governor, he has been, you know, the top performing governor across the country. So he's very much visible across the country. Right. And we look forward to see what the party process will lead us to.
Right.
Yeah.
Mukoya, as somebody that actively sits, I'd say, in some of the ODM meetings, you know,
yes,
why would there be questions raised about whether or not Joe has got that national face to be a party leader of a party such as ODM?
Since to be Raila is not easy, and to admire also to be Raila is another thing. You know, everybody admires to be Raila. ODM is not ODM the way it is today, minus Raila and minus the people that have made ODM the way it is. When we talk about a national figure, it is the ability to bring all the people together, irrespective of where they come from. Why Joe is finding it difficult, it is, you know, when you are a leader, first of all, in ODM, we don't sell religion, we don't sell tribes, we don't sell age. Yeah. We actually do not sell that, you know, when you galvanize your people along tribal lines and along regions and along religion, then it means that you are broke of ideas. Yeah. And that is why Joe is finding it difficult, and why he's appearing like he feels that people don't think he's a national figure. There's nobody who doesn't know Joe in this country. But somewhere along, you know, ODM doesn't forgive. Me, I want to tell you this, that we in ODM, we don't forget. There was a time we needed Joe. Like I'm telling you, when my youths were being killed and maimed in this town, ODM members, some of them, not all of them, because Joe is a leader, he has his people. But when we are going to divide this country where we have Hawa ni Wabara, Hawa ni Wapwani, then it means that we are going to antagonize the party and party members. And that's why we people who appear like are on the, and this one is just a formation of the newspaper and those who are paying it to put camps. There is no vacancy in ODM as we stand today. The party leader is still alive. And in fact, when we were talking to him, he was asking, he has seen people campaigning, but he doesn't know which vacancy has fallen for campaigns to start. So, you know, Joe appears to antagonize, which we don't want to go that direction. And that's why you have seen Oparanya not even engaging Joe, because when you do that, you polarize the party. We don't need to appear like we are fighting the party. All of us belong to one party. All of us, you have children. There are certain children that you put food here and want to take the whole food and not eat with the rest. So Joe should not feel that he's not a national figure. It is for him to drop the language he's using, gunmanizing, because for the few weeks, I'm not fearing to say this, for the 2 weeks he has gone, he was in Mombasa, he was in Lamu, he was in Malindi. All his words have been, sisi wa Islamu. You know, we are not taking that. Na ningependa sana, labda niseme kwa Kiswahili, labda atakaposikia pia aweze kuelewa, kwamba ukipata mtu anafanya siasa kwa udini, kwa ukabila, kwa sehemu anatoka, itamaanisha kwamba wale watu pia sisi tutakapoamua kusema kwamba pia Sinzia ni wetu, wacha tusimame naye. Na huo si msimamo wa chama cha chungwa. Na ndiposa Raila Amolo Odinga ameweza kuunganisha chama cha chungwa Kenya hii kwa hiyo muda wote. Kwa sababu he has never galvanized us towards a religion, towards a tribe, towards... Joe should be national. National means when he's in coastal region, he should not talk about religion. Kenya is not run by religion. Kenya is run by what someone has, the ideas of running a country. Because we don't look at Joe as just running ODM party. He must have an ambition of running a country. But when you move towards a direction of you wanting to rely on your religion, on your tribe, then it means that even other people in other parties, because you must attract people in the party. When you are attracting people in the party, what are Muslims saying and what are Christians saying? Because Oparanya will go and galvanize along Christianity. Joe will say about along the Islam. We are not moving to that direction. Joe, everybody knows him in this country. He's a leader in ODM. We respect him as such. We also respect Oparanya, the former governor of Kakamega as such, but we do not respect the antagonizing way that is moving. Raila Amolo Odinga, when he picked, when Ford became hot for him, he left Ford. And then also, we don't want people to appear like they do this and then the next minute, you know, sometimes people look for exit. Yeah. And if you are not given, you exit. But we are not looking for that. We want them to, as leaders, to campaign and put the ODM members together, other than separating the member. Because if we move with the language now being spread by our deputy party leader, who is Joe, and on the structure of ODM, we have two deputy party leaders. One is policy, another one is strategy. That is as per the constitution. So the two party leaders should actually understand he's a deputy party leader on what? You know, it's not just party leader. When you look at our constitution, deputy party leader policy, deputy party leader strategy. So where do you fall? So to me, as an ODM member, a life member, for a long time, because I've been in ODM for the 19 years we are talking about, because I first registered in ODM when we had the cards, that was in 2005. And I understand. And first of all, these leaders also have to read the mood of Raila Amolo Odinga, the body language of Raila Amolo Odinga, and the country and what ODM members want. Yeah. We have an election. We announced we have an election in April. Let us do the election. Delegates come and decide. If they decide it's Governor Paranya, well and good. If they decide it's Joe, we shall support him. That is what we mean by democracy in ODM. Right. Yes.
Earlier on, you mentioned about ODM doesn't forgive and doesn't forget.
Yes, it doesn't forgive and it doesn't forget.
What case and scenario for Joe does it?
Case and scenario for Joe, however much he wants to run away from it, we should always remember that when we needed him most, when Baba Raila Amolo Odinga needed him most, when we went for demonstration, he was never there. After the 2022 election, we never saw Governor Joe. We have only seen Governor Joe coming in the limelight. Personally, as a person, I've gone to Mombasa more than 4 times with Raila Amolo Odinga, who is my party leader. I've never seen Joe. Joe has come out when Baba has declared that he wants the AU seat. Is it a matter of actually a hyena and a falling hand? Or, we are still asking questions. What I'm asking you today is sincere. It is what many are asking, but they cannot reach here to actually express their views. Yeah. Now, that is what Joe feels, and that is what you have seen him say, that I've seen someone asking me that I'm new in ODM. He should not be bitter. These are questions when you are my sister, you are my brother in the house, and you just decide, you go away, you left us in this house, you find that we have struggled with our father. Now our father wants to bless us. You come, because the blessings are near, you come and say, now it is me who is supposed to be here. You have also to explain what happened when you left. That is what ODM members are trying to ask. Yeah. And that's what they will never forget, that during the time when Baba Raila Amolo Odinga went on the streets, you want to become a party leader? Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba is doing membership registration at his age of 79. You are not seen there. I will be very appreciative when I could have seen Mheshimiwa Joe, where Baba Raila Amolo Odinga has left on membership registration of ODM members. He picks from there and continue doing that membership registration as much as he tells people that I want to vie to become the party leader. We shall know that he is now increasing the number. Now you want to become a party leader to be voted for, the people that we looked for? You should be part and parcel of whatever that happens in the party. And also that question of where they have been will come, even if it doesn't come today. Will Mheshimiwa Joe, our deputy party leader, people are asking, where were you when you were needed most? Is it just because Baba Raila Amolo Odinga is leaving the country, that's why you want to become the party leader? Fine, he has extended and said he wants to become the president. Umesema kama mbaya. Kama mbaya ilikuwa mwezi wa 6 wakati tulikuwa kwa maandamano. Hiyo ndio wakati ilikuwa kama mbaya. Saa hii sisi ni wanachama. We are party members. Don't come and threaten us. You need us. So kama mbaya kwa nani? Because it is the delegates who vote. Are you telling the delegates kama mbaya, or whom are you telling? Because all of you will go on the ballot.
From what Mukoya has said,
Yes.
sounds like the biggest bone of contention
Yes.
is the fact that Joho wasn't present during the demonstrations.
And Joe is not the first one. When you look at the history of ODM over the years, there are people who have always turned around only when opportunities are available, and then they take off once they get settled. You understand? One of the most, and I don't even have to be an ODM life member, even though I am, to be able to say this. In any party or any mission, Cynthia, if we have a mission, the three of us, and we say we want to partake a journey that is revolutionary, and all of us are going to pay some level of sacrifice to get us there. But somewhere along the way, Cynthia, you see Ngaira sitting down as you keep progressing because we've sensed danger ahead of them. It means I'm no longer committed to the mission of what we are planning. And so we've had such kind of characters in ODM as well. And it's unfortunate that the party, and you know, to imagine that he's the party leader, because Joe hasn't been around for the last almost a year.
Yes.
After the general election, he went low. Since then, we've lost dozens of people in ODM. Our people were gunned down towards that demonstration. He was absolutely not there.
Even to attend.
You know, he's only showed up, and I'm not saying this, you know, it's unfortunate because I might sound that I'm saying this because I support Oparanya, but yes, I come from the home county of Kakamega. But this applies to any other member of ODM that wants to partake in the vision of ODM. The orange dream can only be driven by those people who are passionate about it.
And who believe in it.
Who believe in it. I know those that only show up when they see opportunities around. Governor Joe, I think his timing hasn't been correct. And also just to agree with what my brother Mukoya, what he's saying in terms of how he ran the party. Remember, even though Raila Odinga is a party leader of ODM, the largest voting bloc is in Western Kenya.
Yes.
His second largest voting bloc is in the coastal region.
The coastal region.
But because he has run the party on issues and not ethnic lines, because if ODM was supposed to run its party politics along ethnic lines, even Raila Odinga would not be the party leader.
Yes.
Because where will he get the votes to actually win the other 6 regions? Because in Nyanza alone, 4 counties, he would lose that nomination to be the party leader. Yes. But it's because the party has been driven on ideologies, and reforms, and justice and reforms. Those are the issues that have driven that party. So that you have people even from my majority communities like the Westerners who are actually staunch members of the party because of what the party stands for. I think it's tragic, and I hope the deputy party leader, Ali Hassan Joe, because he's the current deputy party leader of the party, is a member of ODM. There's no doubt he's been ODM for a long time, but he hasn't shown the kind of commitment that is needed for this party. But once again, like I said, Cynthia, in my first contribution, I said, there is a party system that leads us to a party leader.
Yes.
Understand? And then we have the grassroots elections, which are coming up in April, as Mukoya has mentioned, for the party. And then after the party is when then we can move to the National Delegates Conference, where leaders are elected across the board. The coastal region has only 6 counties. You have 41 others that will be at the National Delegation Conference. You can imagine what it means if you start running a campaign on a sectarian basis. How will you even go past the 6? It's very difficult because the National Delegate Conference will not just be voted by the coastal people. We equally have 6 counties in Western who will also be having a candidate. And obviously, and I've told you it's just because right now other candidates have not declared, they're still weighing, and it is within the party constitution, they are free to run. They are free to run. Mukoya can also decide tomorrow what to be a party leader. He's a bona fide member of ODM, he's a life member of ODM. He's not restricted, isn't it? The constitution does not restrict any of the millions of supporters of ODM to declare their interest. It's only that the delegates then at the National Delegates Conference will decide that. My prayer is that the party, because ODM has come a long way when you look at its history and what it's done for the country. You need to travel to counties in the north which before devolution era that didn't have anything to understand the sacrifice of the people that went on the streets in 2007. Cynthia, I have a mark here, literally being beat at Capitol Hill with my brother Norman Magaya then as a CEO.
Until Norman nowadays.
And with my Norman Magaya and a gentleman who now has been appointed is one of the CECs for the Nairobi County government, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
Yes, Ibrahim.
We
were right at the Capitol Hill. The cops, you know, we thought that because we are inside the cage, they will not care during the demonstrations. And they grabbed all of us who were in his in his vehicle. He was the driver. Ibrahim was not driving. We were all beaten until 3 days later. I still do not understand what happened to me, because I have an orange mark here for the struggle. There are people who've done that over the years. Unfortunately, even others who've lost their lives. So the party has paid its price to be where it is. This is not the time to be able to split the party. I hope those that are in positions of power and those who want to control the party, because the party must exist beyond the party leader. There's no doubt about that. But that can only be done in a structured way, but under the same ideas that the party has existed in. ODM is a platform for anybody that wants to transform and contribute to the justice reform can thrive. But it has to be done in a very structured way.
Right. Yes. From what I'm hearing you gentlemen say is basically Wycliffe Oparanya has got an upper hand. Mukoe.
Yes, Wycliffe Oparanya having an upper hand, it's not about him coming from Western. Wycliffe Oparanya, and we are not here to campaign for Wycliffe Oparanya. We are saying that for you to be ODM party leader, there are certain ideals that we must look at. You as a party. First of all, you heard Kajwang said before he died, there is what we call loyalty, fidelity, honesty, and truthfulness. If we doubt that along the way, the loyalty was never there, we don't need direction from Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. This is what we are talking about, Cynthia, that consistency is what matters in ODM. In ODM, you don't appear like today you are for lunch, then tomorrow you are for supper. Then that's not ODM. Yeah. ODM, we believe in someone who has been consistent, loyal, and if we just look at you and appear like, and then we believe in Raila Amolo Odinga. Now he's going. People have galvanized around Raila Amolo Odinga, but Raila Amolo Odinga has ensured that he has, ODM, we always say it's an academy. As Baba goes to Addis Kwa Baba, as it maybe next year.
No, you did not. You did just say that.
As we wait for that, the party ODM has to remain, and we don't want to appear like we want the party to disintegrate right now. It is too early, and if there will be any person who is coming to make sure that ODM fails today, then I don't think the person deserves to hold actually a leadership position. What we want, all these leaders are vying. If they're going to vie, because at the moment, Cynthia, we are talking about, I'm seeing papers, people are campaigning. We have not declared positions vacant. Baba Raila Amolo Odinga is still the party leader of ODM. When these positions are going to be declared vacant, and then Governor Wycliffe Oparanya decides to vie, because you have not seen him anywhere. It is the papers are saying that Oparanya has this camp. But as a deputy party leader, he also has his ambitions. Because you cannot become a deputy party leader forever. You have to actually to move. The same Mheshimiwa Governor Joe has said he wants to become a party leader. And I've heard him add another statement of becoming a president. I'm only against galvanizing our people along the religion, along the tribes, along regions. Because if you are a president, you will be a president for everybody. You will not be a president for the coast. Kwa sababu, let us leave the coastal people alone. Let's say, no problem, let Joe remain with the coast. Inside the coastal people, we are going to have the Arabs and the Griamas fighting again. Another thing is going to rise again under the coastal. When you leave us in Western, that Oparanya comes with that card of Amaluya. Inside the Luyas, we are 18. And you know it, Cynthia, that 18, you will find the Bukusus going this side, the Maragolis going this side, the people from Kakamega going this side. ODM is a party of ideology. We want these people who want to vie to give us the ideology. What do they believe in? What do they plan to do for the country? Leave alone even ODM members. Because ODM is progressive. What will they just want to become party leaders, and then after party leaders, what next? ODM was formed with the intention of getting power. Who is this one going to take us to getting that power? And secondly, when you look at a leader, I love Joe as a person, vibrant, he's vibrant. But along the way, I could not locate him. And that is where I lost my trust on him. I can tell you for free, Cynthia, that initially, if you could give me Joe and Governor Oparanya, I could have gone for Joe then. But the moment I've told you ODM people don't forgive, and I'm an ODM person and never forget. I have not forgotten that when I was leading movement for defense of democracy during the demonstrations, I was there with Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, and he was being shot on this road Outer Ring. When he was nearly being killed, the only person I saw was Wycliffe Ambeto Oparanya lying in the vehicle of Raila Amolo Odinga. That is the only person I saw. Now, how do I go back to my young people in the street and tell them that for sure? They will also ask me that we went to war, we went to do demonstration, where was he? That is the, I don't want to struggle with that question. That is the question that is asking me. If he could come out himself and explain to the people where he was, we have no problem. But we continue to just stamp and saying how long, Governor Oparanya has been in ODM since inception. Because I remember him being in, moving from Kanu, Ford Kenya, then moving to LDP, then coming to ODM.
Yeah.
And I can remember Governor Joe coming for a by-election. When Governor Joe was coming for a by-election in Kisauni, Oparanya was already an MP. So who among them was earlier in the party? So we are not against him, but we say Governor Oparanya, as a deputy party leader, we shall expose him to actually election of the delegates. Let the delegates decide. If the delegate decides Governor Oparanya, we shall support. If the delegate decides Governor Cho, we shall support. But Joe is actually misleading the people in ODM. And as a leader, I wish him to withdraw his statements.
Yeah.
Kwamba, it is me. If it is not me, there is no any other person. Who told him there is no any other person? Even Mkoya might be vying for the deputy, for the party leader. Yeah. Even Governor Simbarati might be vying for the governor. It is all of us. ODM elections are normally a process. So everybody is allowed to vie. Let the delegates decide. Kasarani, we ever went there in 2014. We shall go back there. If he wins, well and good. Yeah. If he doesn't win, we shall support who has won.
Naira,
yes.
There's an important point that Mukoya has mentioned.
Yes.
That there's no vacancy that has been declared just yet.
Yes.
But already there seems to be campaign machineries already going for one side.
Yes.
Which also perhaps reflects Kenya at a larger picture.
Yes.
That we've got this issue of, perhaps 2 years or even 3 years or even 1 year to the elections,
yeah.
Campaigns have already started. Is it just normal? Someone would argue it's normal for that to happen, that even before the exact point of the elections to take place, whether it's party elections or national elections, even the general elections, we've got a process of previous campaign, probably just to familiarize yourself with the ground.
Yeah, two things, Cynthia. One, in moments of transition, it's only normal for people to begin to adjust for positions because they're looking forward to filling the vacancy. That one is standard, and it's happened in the country for many years. Even when President Jomo his health was increasingly becoming low, and people were anticipating that this old man might not. Remember, he became president already in his mid-60s, almost late 60s. So by the time he had served his 10 years in the mid-70s, he was a very, very old man, almost in his 80s. Because they said President Jomo was born in 1893. Roughly the age they gave. So by 1979, it means the president was around 86 years old. So by the time we were getting into the 70s, he was an old man in his 80s, and there are people who foresaw that the president might not be able to live for long. And that's why you had the jostling that was there between the members of what they used to call Mount Kenya Mafia, the people who were sitting around the presidency, and those that were outsiders in the context of the politics of that particular time. And that's why you had people like President Moi, who were marked at that time as people that were supposed to be gotten rid of, put out of the way because of what was coming. So it's only normal, and it happens every time, even when you have a sitting president. When President Kibaki was serving a second term towards 2013, the same happened, and also President Uhuru Kenyatta after he finished his 2 terms. So first of all, it's standard and expected that in moments of transition, Raila Odinga has been in politics since 1963. Yeah. He's the longest serving Kenyan politician alive. He voted in 1963. He was there, I think, 19 years for his father then as a member of parliament. And in 2023, since 60 years later, he's still in service. So it's only understandable that having served this country fantastically well across so many things, it's expected that he's bound to transition at some point because we are all human beings. So then that's why you would see people want to just offer such position. That's one. But two, The reason why you see that people want to plan early, especially for campaigns, Cynthia, I've said it many times, online and offline, that the reality of running for presidency is not a joke. The kind of people that sometimes turn around here and say they want to be president, when I look at, having been around 2 presidential campaigns and within the secretariat to see what it takes to run such an operation is not for jokers. You really need to, Cynthia, even if, the last time I told you this, that even if we carry all the funds that you need, say you need 3 billion shillings to cover through 290 constituencies, Cynthia, even if we come here and pile the 3 billion here, the practicality of going to 290 constituencies, my brother Mkoya will tell you, is not a joke. What it just takes. If people, I see young men, you go out a Friday and a Saturday and you sleep for 3 days, you say that I'm a hangover. Can you imagine what it means going around the country 290 times? So it's only understandable when you see the people trying to plan early, even though legally, there is a legally stipulated time when you're supposed to conduct your elections. It's after the nomination. So you only have actually legally of 90 days. After the nomination, then you have 90 days to campaign for the seat. But the practicality of it requires that then you do it early. So it's expected you're going to see. And not just these ones that you're seeing are taking over early. Because 3 years is quite a long time in politics.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of players that are going to come along. Koya has mentioned it. The Westerners are quiet. Yes. You know, they are yet to go out and campaign, yet they have the largest voting bloc in opposition. President William Ruto's base, which is Central Kenya, might be intact to some extent because he's a sitting president. So it's understandable because of the incumbency. They might be relaxed. But those in opposition, which then means the Westerners, remember 11 counties from Migori, 4 counties of Luo Nyanza, and then 5 counties in, six counties of Nyanza, that is the 4 Luo counties, and the Kisii and Nyamira is 6, and then you have 5 counties. Those 11 counties have 10 million voters. That is enough to win any election if you truly galvanize your people, and yet they're here to campaign. So we are bound to see even more candidates coming up as days go by. So we hope that then it's done in a very fairly decent way, because the country has to be together, and also for the party as well, ODM party, for it to be able to face the 2027 elections. It cannot go into that election as divided. So all those people that are looking for positions within the party, I hope they understand that, so that then all of us can come out victorious.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe to just a point on what Ngaira is saying, that we are not against early campaigns. We are against the message going out and actually dividing the ODM members. Because for our governor, our good governor, Ali Hassan Joho, has declared he wants to become a president. I've not heard my governor or Paranya declaring he wants to become a president. Now, he's having 2 things to do. He's having to become the president, and he's having to become the party leader. So we don't know which one he wants. Because definitely, if you want to become a president, then you have to ensure the party you want to run on is actually united, so that this party can back you wholesomely. So, because you don't divide the party you want to run on and expect to be the president. So also these things, maybe advisors or which Baba has also been out, and when Baba is out, children might end up having different opinions and running around the compound. Maybe when he comes back, his children, he will put them in order, because one child might be very fast than the other, but that one does not mean that we have to disintegrate the party. The party has to remain united. And as I've told you, that ODM was formed with an intention of getting power. ODM was not formed with an intention of having party leaders and fighting within. You have just said here we have 80-something MPs. We have 500 and MCS. We need to increase this number to even 1,000. We need to increase these MPs. And as ODM, and that's what I'm telling you, we suffered. We have really suffered when you have had all these coalitions. Those MPs, because ODM 207, it had 100 and MPs. We have come to 2013, MPs started reducing until today. Now we want to make up, and that's why, and you talk about members, we are having like 5 million and. If we have 5 million and members of ODM, then we are having a startup to an election. Ngaira he has talked about 10 million in the western side. Now 10 million in the western side, among the 5 million, I'm meant to believe that around 3 points is coming from the western side. So we want power. We as ODM, we do not we do not want to say that we shall go for a coalition if there is, and if there isn't, we shall go as ODM, because I believe we can move as ODM and have power as ODM. So there is no need of Governor Joe and Governor Oparanya fighting. All these people can get in whichever position. Yes, if Joe decides to become the presidential candidate and Baba is not there, we shall support. And also, that's why I've told you we better wait for Baba, because Baba has not told you he's not on the ballot 2027. So, so another thing.
Let me just say, let me just point this out, Mukoya.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree that what we see as the trend in some of the biggest political parties in Kenya that have come up, and give an example of ODM party, UDA party, and Jubilee party, that whoever becomes the party leader almost seems to automatically become the presidential flag bearer of that party. Wouldn't you agree? And perhaps this is the route that the former Governor Joho is taking.
Taking that route, you know, like you have said, the big parties, that automatically becomes ODM. We always do a nomination for a candidate, presidential candidate. It is not automatic, that you are a party leader, you become. Raila Amolo Odinga has always become a candidate because some of these people who declare in presidency, they always withdraw along the way. I've told you, to be Raila is not easy. To be Raila, you must have the people. When a candidate has the people, has the resources, sometimes these other candidates say, no, we don't need to go and waste all of us. Let us use the resources we have. Let us support one person who is Raila Amolo Odinga. That stature of Raila Amolo Odinga, Gaira has told you Baba voted in 1963. This is a man who was in politics, active politics,
for 60 years.
For 60 years. And he's a man who has survived world governments for 40 years.
And actually, Cynthia, you don't have to be a party leader to be the presidential candidate.
You don't have to.
That's why President Moi still remained Kanu party leader as Uhuru Kenyatta was the candidate. That's why there's a separate election party process that leads to elect a presidential candidate. It can be any of the members of the party. And the same happened with President Kibaki when he's leading the PNU. He never stopped being the PNU party leader until after the elections.
And in fact, when you are not a party leader of the party, all the baggage does not come on you. You concentrate on the presidency. True. I've told you, you know, we are in ODM sincere. What Raila Amolo Odinga goes through, what you have been seeing, even when we have those coalitions called Azimio, NASA and whatever, it has always been on one man called Raila Amolo Odinga. True. To be him is not easy. He has talked about 290 constituencies. 290 constituencies. Since I've been with Raila Amolo Odinga to Meru, we traveled from West Pokot, then Meru, then Nanyuki. When we were sleeping and expecting that we are having to have a rest that particular day, Baba is calling at 6 and asking you guys, we are proceeding to Ngubu, then Embu, and they were asking, what's wrong with Baba? We have done 7 days consecutively. So it's not easy.
and I think they've covered almost 18 counties in the last 3, 4, 5 months across the country. No other candidate, including those in Azimio, who are actually. Presidential elections are a very serious business, and somewhere along the line, Cynthia, I keep telling you this, there will be separation between the real contenders and the amateurs that are telling they want to be those who are pretending.
So we've got a few minutes to wrap it up. So I'd love us to speak on the grassroots elections, which is a nightmare to conduct in this country, and political parties do struggle. You've given a good example that, you know, ODM party has got a structure, but is it enough? Because, you know, we're talking about 47 counties. They've got various offices in those counties. Is it a nightmare for ODM party as well?
Not just ODM party, any other of the 83 political parties, because when you look at what the cost of IEBC conducting national elections across the country runs into billions and billions of shillings. For you to be able to run elections across 1,450 wards is an extremely expensive affair. That's why when you look at party elections, ordinarily, for example, I'll give you my example of my ward in Kakamega, in Malava sub-county, Malava constituency. Sorry, I come from a ward called Chemuche ward. And in Chemuche, we have 12 polling centers, right? The polling centers. And then the polling centers have streams. Streams could be maybe an average of 5 or so, depending on the size of the number of the registered voters in that particular station. Because IEBC says the station must have a maximum of 600 voters, I think. So when you divide that, then it means different centers could have different streams, depending on the number of people. Some centers have less than 600, so they might not need maximum streams. Then those ones that are slightly towards that number, they're able to split into many other streams. To even just conduct elections, if you have 12 centers and then you multiply about times times the 1,450 wards, then you need almost 46,000 agents to run such a campaign. It's very expensive for any of the political parties. That's why whenever you have such party elections, especially the nominations in Kenya, they usually tend to merge those centers. So they decide that in every constituency you might just decide to have 3 centers in a ward, so that's where the local elections will be done, because most of them cannot afford that. That's why they brought in the issue of political parties funding. And part of that was to be able to allow political parties then to be able to do those grassroots elections, because some parties have strong ideologies but maybe they might not compete on resources. And it's very unfortunate that this president has continued the path that the former president did, which is slashing the political parties funds. Even the 300 million you're talking about, the Secretary General of ODM will tell you the actual funds that have been disbursed is just a third of that money. I think I had him say just about 100 million, because the president is intentional, you know, trying to cut off. The allocation is there per the budget policy, but the availability of funds is what the debate is. So when you go to this extremely rogue registrar of political party called Anne Deritu, she spends most of her time politicking instead of doing the kind of work that she's supposed to do. I saw her in Tana River the other day purporting that, you know, the register of political parties has about 9 or 19 offices that we want to structure this into 47 counties. And I wanted to ask her then, what about the other basic things that you're supposed to do in terms of bringing law and order in political parties and ensuring that parties are able to thrive? Kenyans were not stupid, Cynthia, when they passed this 2010 constitution. We had looked back at the journey that we had taken over the years, including the loss of lives that happened in 2007, for us to get to where we were, because we wanted to have a political system that is open, free, and fair. And so the Register of Political Party, one of our mandates is to ensure that both the ruling party and the other parties that we have now that considering that the Political Parties Act was amended to allow even more parties to have access to the funds. We even had other local parties that were able to win some seats, because I think the threshold was now reduced to any seat won, then at all levels. So there's the funding is distributed according to the structure. They say how many seats at the ward level did you get, and which parties get which shares, and then I guess that's what progresses. So we have a challenge with the funding of the political parties, which is politically instigated by both the president and this extremely rogue woman at the register of political parties. And I hope that they can work on it, so that then we have, not just for ODM, for all the political parties, because Kenya is one country, and we'd love to see a country that is democratically mature like the Western country.
Right. Muko, in a few words on grassroots elections.
Yes. Grassroots elections, in ODM, actually we have actually 2 ways. No, 3. We have the harmonization, that it might not be necessarily for us to go for the direct nomination where we're going to do elections. We can have the delegates voting and decide who becomes the leader. And that one also can cut on costs. Like currently, as we talk, and as you are saying, there are no funds. And not only in ODM, even if you go to UDA, I don't know if it is as it is, as let us say, the president, is he doing it intentionally, just the same way they've been doing? So there are no funds. We might have that election, and we have places.
Cynthia, to just clarify for him, the allocation that had been there for this financial year was almost 1.2 billion. The president, in what you call a supplementary budget, the first thing he did was to cut down. It's a legal document. When you send in a supplementary budget, it's actually debated in Parliament. So the budget that had been allocated to the Register of Political Parties for disbursement was actually cut down to almost 600 million. So I'm not assuming. It's a legal document that you can go to Parliament to be able to get there.
So the cutting off those funds, it means that you are killing the parties. First of all, they will not do their grassroots election. They will not be able to do their party activities, like what we have been doing, the membership, registration, and that grassroots election. And what we are saying that in ODM, there are particular places that maybe the party might decide to do elections, and there are places that the party will decide to do harmonization, depending on what that ground is. There are places people will say, no, this one we have agreed. Like in ODM, you can agree in a sub-county, agree this is the leadership under the youth, under the women, and just write the minutes, present, and take it to the secretariat, and it's affirmed as members.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time this morning. On my immediate right is George Ngaira, political commentator. And next to him is John Mukoya, Movement for Defense of Democracy. So thank you, gentlemen, for your company this morning and for your insights as well on the battle for ODM party politics. Perhaps to just run you through a couple of numbers. ODM party has got 86 members of parliament and was founded in 2005, has got 12 members in the Senate, has got 5 representatives at the East Africa Legislative Assembly, has got 16 governors in place at this moment out of 47, as well as 578 members of the County Assembly across various wards in the Republic of Kenya. So we'll be keeping tabs with that just to see how this issue develops, and at the end, if Odinga makes it to the AUC position, who will now become the new party leader, and the two key persons, at least from what we've been seeing on the headlines, is former governors Wycliffe Oparanya as well as Ali Hassan Joho. So that is where we wrap this conversation this morning. Thank you for your wonderful company. Yes. In case you've missed it, you can rewatch it across our social media platforms. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Have a wonderful morning.
Thank you.